Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. Happy to have you here. We're going to be talking with Jenna D'Anna. Is that how you say your name, Jenna?
Donna.
Donna. Jenna D'Anna from Bainbridge Island Museum of Art. And we're going to talk about their creative aging programs. Before we get started, though, I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the ancestral homeland of the Puget Sound Coast Salish people, the Suquamish tribe, the people of the clear salt water, who have lived on these lands and plied these waters since time immemorial. And we honor them and are learning from their stewardship. Also, Something to Talk About is sponsored by Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island, which offers independent, assisted, and memory care up at up on Rolling Bay, right around the corner from Bay Hay and Feed. They have day stay and respite care programs, and they'd love to treat you to a complimentary lunch or dinner so you can get a sense of the campus and their facilities. Call 206-594-1010. So, Jenna, thank you very much for joining us. I know that you said that there are going to be some changes at Creative Aging, but I know that it's been a program that many of the folks here at the Senior Community Center have enjoyed taking advantage of. So I appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you for having me, and hi everyone. Subtle changes, nothing major, and
Good. Always good.
to start with that, so people don't think the worst. I mean, mostly our Meet Me at the Movies program and our Look Again program, I'm shifting the start time earlier to 10 a.m. instead of the 11 a.m. And that's to accommodate the schedules. Like the feedback that I got from the older adult community that would be a better start time for them. So I'm particularly excited that next week, Thursday, November 21st at 10 a.m., we'll be hosting Meet Me at the Movies. That's a program in partnership with the Creative Aging program at the Fry Museum in Seattle. Their representative comes over and she and I get into a really good conversation with each other and with the participants, looking at old film clips and some not so old, some current film clips, and talking about life and film. And it's a very stimulating conversation. It's designed for people with memory loss and their caregivers, but I have to say it's really enjoyable for everyone. I mean, I love the conversations. Our 20-something-year-old AV tech jumps in and gets in on the conversation. We talk about memories from our lives and what, inspiration from these films. So I would encourage everyone to attend. It's a free program. So that's next Thursday at 10
And that
a.m.
and that comes up every month,
That's quarterly, so once a
quarterly.
season, and I'm working out the details with the Fry Museum this week about planning our 2025 schedule. So when I know that, I will definitely send you that information as to which dates in the new year.
Okay, and people can also check your website, I
Absolutely.
imagine.
Yes, the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art, biartmuseum.org.
Great. So you mentioned Meet Me at the Movies.
Mhm. Yeah. And then we also have Look Again, which is an art appreciation and conversation discussion group that happens on the first Friday of every month. And that also is moving to 10 a.m. to accommodate people's schedules. And we really, welcome everyone. It's another free program. That's hosted by Kristen Tollefson, the former education lead at BIMA, and she still comes back because working with this group and doing this kind of work is very important to her. So, first Friday, December 6th is coming right up, and Kristen will be there to guide people through art appreciation and conversation on works from the current exhibition. That program also is designed for people with memory loss and their caregivers, but again, really stimulating conversation for anyone who wants to come by.
Great.
Jenna, as you may,
Oh, go ahead, Don.
okay. Jenna, as you may know, Christy, what's her name, leads a group here shortly after she finishes that one on that one time a month.
Yeah,
People,
that's what I was going to mention, that Kristen and occasionally with help with Ann Lovejoy has been
Mhm.
doing a support group for folks who are living with memory loss, and it directly follows that same time. So you can make an after a day of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then additionally, we'll continue to have our art classes at the senior center once a month, and the next one is on December 10th. One change there is that Nicole Schluter, our education programs coordinator, who has been leading those classes for the past year, today is actually her last day at BIMA. She's moving on to a new position at Bainbridge Performing Arts. And so we're going to have, I will jump in to teach. I used to be an art teacher for many years, and I'm very comfortable teaching art. So I'll be teaching at the senior center for the next month or two, and then we'll see about bringing in someone new.
Well, we look forward to having you visit. That's
Thank you.
one of the Tuesdays afternoons here every month,
Yeah.
and we generally get a heads up. We'll put in our Monday email and also in the splash what Jenna or your successor will be doing on that day. And
Yeah.
with our art classes right now, given our size and space, um, we are sometimes challenged to let everybody who wants to participate, and we are continuing to create new art times and projects. But you know that the week before a program is going to be on, we will open up the registration. So we try to give everybody a fair chance to, if they're available, sign up and get a shot at participating, so that it's you might not make it this month, but you could probably make it the next month.
Nice.
So can you tell me a little bit about on those programs, what kinds of things that you're trying to do with those art activity programs, or that Nick has been focused on?
Mm-hmm. Well, with the art classes at the senior center, typically we come up with an art lesson and project that's aligned somehow with something that's happening at BIMA, or something that has to do with a holiday or something seasonal. So we'll give a little introduction to the project and how it connects to what's happening at BIMA.
Great. So I don't know, I feel as though that's been something that a lot of people have really enjoyed, and it's been a great connection between, you know, uh, taking part in an activity and then being able to have a better appreciation of looking at other people's art or an activity.
Yeah, and I just want to say also that, my understanding of creative aging from the perspective of BIMA's involvement is really evolving. And I realize that there's so much going on at BIMA for older adults that we haven't kind of acknowledged as under the umbrella of creative aging, but I really see it as very impactful and meaningful and joyful things going on. For example, our docent program. I mean, every single day sometimes it's dozens of older adults who are volunteering at the museum, whether it's serving snacks or wine at an event, or serving as a docent, answering questions to museum visitors. These are really impactful moments in our community, connecting the docents to one another and to people in the community and to people from outside the community who are visiting the museum. There are all sorts of wonderful kind of docent trainings and appreciation parties that BIMA offers that brings older adults together. And additionally, in the education program, we have a very robust field trip program. Last year, we brought over 1,000 students from the region into our doors, and this program is docent led. And what's lovely about that is we train our volunteer docents on how to lead a field trip, but they don't have the burden of responsibility for the children because the teachers and the chaperones are there. And so the docent really has an opportunity to engage with the children, share the museum with them, and lead them in a little art appreciation conversation. And we also have like field trip docent appreciation parties and social gatherings. So I love the kind of intergenerational exchange that happens there. That's so meaningful and enjoyable for everybody involved. And for anyone who listens to this podcast, I would invite them to reach out to me if they want to get involved, because I really find a lot of meaning in our docent and field trip guide program for connecting people from all the different generations.
So shall we just share your email?
Yes,
Um,
please. Yeah.
I'll put that in the description box at the bottom, on the replay and in the chat here in a minute. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself then? How you said that you had done art instruction and now you're doing something that's kind of a blend of those things.
Okay.
A little
Yeah.
bio maybe, and then what you
Sure.
like about what you're doing today at BIMA
Sure.
with our community.
Sure. Well, so I run the education and community engagement at BIMA now. More recently, before I came to BIMA, I worked for both Arts and Humanities Bainbridge and the Port Townsend School of the Arts, leading educational programming at both of those organizations. And prior to that, several years, many years working as an art teacher, both in public schools and in community art centers in California and in Portland, Oregon. Um, so that's mostly my background.
And so have you, it sounds like you've worked with a variety of different ages and maybe um, level of exposure to art. Some people,
Absolutely. Yeah.
some people are just getting a sense or might be dabbling in a sense of playing with creativity, and some people that you've worked with might have had more training.
Absolutely, because part of running the education program at BIMA means I work directly with the exhibiting artists and the artist lecture program. So we have, career museum level artists that I'm working with all the way down to kindergartners in the field trip program and the summer camp program. So I love working with all ages, and I really find it enriching to connect the generations.
Um, in education, what do you think of as your sort of your hopes from the work that you do in terms of connecting people and express artistic expression?
Well, what I'm drawn toward is very much in alignment with BIMA's mission, which is like inspiring that sense of wonder and curiosity and connection. Because I feel that so many of us lose that just with the struggles of life. And I think that it really is I myself struggle with staying connected to those things with all the pressures of keeping up with life. And I think it brings a lot of meaning. So wonder, curiosity,
Uh-huh.
connection. Mhm.
Well, I do think it's kind of interesting, when you talk about the variety of um, folks that you have contact with, and the when you're looking at programs, the idea of people who might have a level of sort of developed skill, who are interested in continuing to work on it, programs that might have multi-part classes, and then that other end, which is sort of like the things that you'll be helping us with, where it's a one-off program and you have really no idea about um, what the approach is going to be by the people that you meet until you come with your plan and
Yeah,
sit down with them.
yeah.
And I think that's that takes a great deal of flexibility and an ability to kind of fly with the situation.
That's what I've always loved about teaching. It actually reminds me of when I was between my junior and senior year in high school, I worked at a summer camp in upstate New York in the Arts and Crafts building. And this camp had kindergartners through maybe 17-year-olds or maybe 16-year-olds because they were younger than me at the time. And what I loved was that, each hour you would have a different grade level who would come in and you would have to shift your perspective and how do I connect with these people where they are and provide something that's going to be interesting and engaging for them and kind of create that spark. And so had a lot of practice over the years, and I spent years as a yoga teacher as well. And you could have people coming in the room who had never tried to even do basic stretching to people who were more advanced practitioners and how the question and the challenge for me is like how can I connect with everyone and provide what they need where they are. So I like that dance.
Great. And it sounds like there are a number of different ways at BIMA to plug in to programs, depending on where you are when you're
Yeah, absolutely.
engaged.
I mean, the most recent event, and this was my first kind of museum-wide event to lead, was the multi-day Dia de los Muertos events and celebrations. And that, I don't know if you stopped by, but this was
Yeah.
an incredible program bringing, we had little children making butterfly wings to do a procession. They were at Kitty Moo, coming over, and then you have, people in their 80s and up speaking to the reality of lost loved ones and all ages in between, kind of honoring loved ones and kind of celebrating life. And so,
Yes, that was
yeah.
a beautiful, I mean, it's been an ever-growing sort of experience, and this is for you to take the reins on that. Congratulations.
Thank
Uh,
you. It was huge.
we had a nice conversation with a couple of the organizers as well. Alice was here, I
Oh,
think,
oh,
a week ago. And the whole community looks forward to that. That's a great way that BIMA serves as a community crossroads too.
yeah.
So you mentioned a couple of programs that were specifically focused on people dealing with memory issues, but also that they're open to everybody. And that was
Open to everyone, I think enjoyable to people of all ages.
and Look Again, which was the tours of the exhibits, and then Meet Me at the Movies with Fry Art Museum. And then you also mentioned that if people are interested in connecting with the museum as a docent, you're interested in helping them with that.
And not just as a docent in terms of a traditional tour leader or person to give information, but to help with field trips, also to help with special projects and events, to even help check in people to artist lectures. Then you get a free entrance into the events and lectures as well. Yeah.
Great. Um, that very grateful for you stopping by. I don't know if Susan or Don, you have anything you want to add or comment?
Well, I think it'd be interesting, Reed, to let Jenna know that there's a queer elders program at the senior center. It's probably somewhat unique for senior centers to have those kinds of programs. And the group really appreciates the fact that you helped us form that, and it's an integral part of the center. And I don't know that we have any special interests that would be of interest to Jenna, but who knows what might turn up.
I do know that although my colleague Sadie is running that program, we do have
Yes,
the Trans Day of Remembrance coming up in about a week. And that is in collaboration with queer elders here on Bainbridge Island and a couple of other LGBTQ plus groups.
Yes,
great. That's nice. No,
I'm guessing Rainbow Crew Northwest is a big
Yes,
part of that.
yes, yes, Eve Palais.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate the fact that Don was instrumental in getting that group going, and it's been continuing to grow. And if there are um, activities, collaboration, just like with BIMA, is a watchword here at the Senior Community Center. And so I'm happy to be go between if you have a program or somebody else that's watching has a program that you think might make sense to work with the Queer Elders Group.
Mhm.
We'd love to talk about it.
And just, speaking more to that, we welcome all different groups and backgrounds at the museum. And also we welcome these different groups' ideas and suggestions for programming that they would like us to host and that we could facilitate for them. We might not always know what everybody wants, and we can't be all things to all people, but we really try to, welcome everyone and create programs that make everyone feel a sense of belonging and meaning and inspiration.
And with your focus on artists in our region, that includes artists in all walks of life. So I've seen some wonderful, wonderful shows at BIMA. And I thank you for that and for spending the time with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
thanks
Bye.
a lot, Jenna.